Hello, math students. Welcome back to our module on statistics. This is lesson 2, describing the center of a distribution using the mean. Our goal for today we will learn how to determine the fair share or mean of the data set. The question that I want you to be thinking about in this lesson is, how do you use the data displays to understand the data? Okay, so what we're going to try to do is we're going to take a look at how do we, once we have some data, how do we understand what it is or what it means? And so determining the fair share or the mean of the data set means if we had a bunch of marbles and there were 5 kids, we want to figure out what is the fair share of marbles between the 5 kids. And so what we have to do in kindergarten, what kindergartners do, and believe it or not, this is kind of fun about this type of math, is you do a lot of the things that you do in kindergarten. You get your fair share, so you pass one out. So one person is the marble passer, and you have to pass out one marble to every kid until all the marbles are dispersed. And so that would mean that each child got their fair share. So another way to look at it is, let's look at this example of ticket fun. 5 friends were eating at Peter Piper Pizza. After they ate, they played some games and earned some tickets. All 5 friends came back to their table and counted their tickets. There were a lot of tickets. So remember, we have 5 friends. So because we have 5 friends, there's 5 different numerical values of what they brought back to the table. So one child brought back 10 tickets, another child brought back 15 tickets, another child brought back 8 tickets, another child brought back 4 tickets, and then our last child brought back 2 tickets. So what your job is to do, because we're all friends and we all want to have the same amount because we get to go to the ticket store and we want everybody to be able to buy equal amounts, we have to figure out the friend's fair share. So it says, can you determine each friend's fair share? So what we need to do is, first of all, we need to make a dot plot to figure out what data we have. And so again, remember a dot plot from yesterday's lesson was you have a number line, horizontal axis, so the x-axis right here, okay? Then we have to put numbers on here because we're talking about tickets. So what we have to say is, remember on that number line that it can vary depending on what you need. And so I'm going to say, let's say 0 is here, we have 1 here, we have 2 here, we have 3 here, we have 4 here, we have 5 here, we have 6 here, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I'll go ahead and throw in number 12 up there. Now, I know that we don't have 12. Oh, we actually do. We have 15, so now I have to keep going. Sorry, I ran off of my number line, so that would be 13, 14, and then 15. I forgot that I had to go all the way to 15. How do I know that I have to go all the way to 15? Because of this data point right here. So basically, when you're trying to figure out what to label on your number lines, you have to look at your data above, and then you have to make sure that all of those numbers are represented. You also have to remember on a dot plot that your numbers or your counting values have to be evenly spaced. So if you're going to count by ones, you're going to count by ones. If you're going to count by twos, if you're going to count by fives, if you're going to count by eights, as long as your intervals are evenly spaced, then you know that your number counting is correct. And then you go over there and you represent with a dot what your data points are. So the first data point that I have is 10. So I'm going to go over here to 10 and I'm going to put a dot at 10. That means there were 10 tickets that were brought. Okay, so then the next one, the data point says there was 15. So I have to go over here to 15 and put a dot. Then my next data point was 8, so I put a dot. And then my next data point was 4, and I put my dot. And then I have my last data point, and it was 2. And so basically what this dot plot does is it shows us the number of tickets that we have or what the kids brought back. And if I had more room, I would write tickets. Okay, because you have to label everything so that you know what it is. So right under here, if we had more space, I would write the word tickets. Okay, so now we have our dot plot, because remember that was one of the ways to organize our data. Now let's see how we could give every friend the same amount. We are going to draw a box to represent each ticket. What is each friend's fair share. So what we have to do on that is we have to determine the fair share of what each kid would have. And so we're going to go through each one of these and we're going to represent a dot. And so our actual graph for doing this is going to look a little bit different because how many friends are there? There were 5 friends. So on this one, we're going to say, okay, here's friend number 1, here's friend number 2, here's friend number 3, here's friend number 4, and here's friend number 5, right? And then we're going to draw a box for each ticket, and we're going to make sure that everybody gets the same amount of tickets. So we'll start right here. We're going to distribute them. So this is 2 tickets, so a ticket goes here and a ticket goes here. So now that data is done. And what I like to do when I'm done with my data is I'm just going to put a little star above my dot plot so that I know that I got those. Now I have to move on to 4, so I need to do 4 boxes. And remember, we're fair sharing, so we have to pass out to everybody so we get equal amounts. So that's 1, 2, 3, and I'm doing 4 now, so I get to put, that's number 4, right? And so then I get to put a star here. Okay, so now the next thing is I have 8 tickets. So here we go, count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so now those were evenly dispersed like I needed them to be. And now I move on to this one, right? And so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now I covered all of those tickets. And then I have one more set that I have to do fair share pass out with. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so then that means that we have all of them dispersed, but now we need to talk about, did everybody get their fair share? So let's count them and see. So in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and count what we have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to wait to count that one in just a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait to count that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, do you see why I stopped when I got to everyone having 7? Because everyone had 7 except this 5th person. They didn't get the extra last ticket. So I didn't count these in because what I actually have to do, because remember, in kindergarten and in life, fair share means that everybody gets the same amount. So now we have 4 leftovers, but we have 5 kids. So what we actually have to do is we have to break these up into fair shares also. So what we want to do with that is there are 5 kids, so I'm going to break that into 5 equal pieces. So 5 equal pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I have is you get a 5th here. So let me draw that. Let's see if I can do it so you can see it. So you get a 5th here, right? You get a 5th here. You get a 5th here. You get a 5th here. And you get a 5th here. So that covers that one, right? Then we get a 5th here, a 5th here, a 5th here, a 5th here, and a 5th here. So that one covers that one. A 5th here, a 5th here, a 5th here, a 5th here, and a 5th here. So that covers that one. One more. A 5th here, a 5th here, a fifth here, a fifth here, and a fifth here, and that covers that one. So now what we have figured out, what is each friend's fair share? Each friend got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4 fifths. Okay, so if we had to figure out our tickets, each friend got 7 4 fifths tickets from the pile of the fair share. So what you were able to do is you were able to figure out what would be the average number of tickets when you take all the different ones that you got, put them in a pile, fair shared amount. We have determined that the average amount that each child would get is 7 4 fifths tickets. And so that is called your fair share of all of the tickets. Okay? Mathematically, the other word that it's called is the mean. You just figured out the mean of all the tickets. So the mean amount or the average amount that each child would get is each child would get 7 4 fifths tickets. Okay? All right, that's all we have in this lesson. So let's go back to our goal one more time. Today we will learn how to determine the fair share or the mean of the data set. So the mean means everybody gets an equal amount or a fair share of the data set, which is what we did. How do you use the data displays to understand the data? Well, what we did on this one is we used the dot plot to see what we had, and then we used the fair share plot. This is not even actually a real plot that we actually have mathematicians use beyond this point. But for us right now, this is called the fair share plot because it actually lets us visibly see what is the fair share of each person and what they get. Okay? All right, kiddos. Pretty fun to figure out this stuff when you're doing fair share. That's all I have for you today. Talk to you soon. Bye.